Good afternoon. I'm here to talk on video number 4, module number 3, which is all to do with the Vancouver Premier College policies. The policy I want to talk about today is the instructor evaluation policy and how changes might apply because of the online environment that we're teaching in right now. So in terms of evaluation parameters, there are 4 that are mentioned in the policy. The first is content expertise. Do I know what I'm talking about? Delivery skills, design skills, and program management. Can I manage what goes on in the program? I think as we consider those things, one of the things we have to consider is what do we really know about the online environment versus the in-classroom environment, and how has that affected us? So the first thing that's really clear is that it's easy to be distracted in the online environment. My classes currently are 3 hours in length, and it's hard for my students to stay focused for that period of time, but they do it, and we seem to get by pretty good. But knowing that it's easy to be distracted is important. Also understanding that it's a fairly lonely place to teach and to be a student, particularly if you're an international student who's kind of restricted to the home. So it can be quite lonely, so being aware of that is important. And as an instructor, you live a bit of your life in a silo as you do this instruction, because you don't have faculty all around you. And it's difficult to measure your success in an online environment because you're not there. You don't get the feel of what's going on inside the classroom. Obviously, it's very technologically dependent. If your internet's not good or if there's any breakups, which often I find these days with my students in China, it is weak. It can be very difficult. And then it's difficult to connect one-on-one. Now, I've had more success now that I've been there for over a year to connect one-on-one, because some of my students, or many of my students, are repeat students. I've seen them in other classes, and it's been really helpful to have that connection with them already going into the first day of class. So to combat these challenges, I ask myself a number of questions. The first one has to do with student support. One of the ways I can identify if I'm being supported or not is my attendance good? Are the students there? Can't do much if they're not. Do they arrive on time? Do they arrive back from breaks on time? Do they leave at the end, or do they leave kind of in the middle? I also ask, are there cameras on? Do they show shoulders and head and like they're engaged, like they're here and learning and listening in an engaged fashion? Do they respond to questions? If I ask a question and I'm on a PowerPoint and I can't see them because they're not one of the 4 people on my screen, do they respond right away, or do I have to say their name 3 or 4 times? Are there pre-class assignments being completed? So I'm asking the question, and are they complete or not? And do I have 3 students that I can go to when I'm in trouble? So I'll reach out and go to them right away. So that kind of identifies if I have student support or not. And it has a great deal to do with the parameters for evaluation, I believe. The second thing is I ask if I have the tools to engage my students. Do I have those tools available to me? First one is internet connectivity. If the internet is connected and it's well connected, they can hear me, they can see me, they can feel me, it's good. The next one is the Zoom platform. Is it functioning properly? Am I flowing through it, or am I saying, oh, just a minute, oh, I'm sorry, oh, if I'm flowing through it, it's a good thing. And then my materials. Do I have the materials they need to be engaged? So my PowerPoints, my textbook, my assignments, my exams, my quizzes, all of those things that provide them with what they need to move forward. I go back to those 3 student leaders. Have I identified and spoken with individually 3 student leaders that can support me throughout the class when we're in the large class, and in smaller settings when we go into the breakout rooms? And lastly, do I have the connection to administrative services and student services to help me when I get into sticky situations? I might add tutoring services in on that as well. And if I have those things, it certainly makes it a lot easier. I have a quick recommendation to help to add to the policy that may make it better. I would recommend that the senior management team consider the creation of a faculty coach, or you might call it a program director, as you did, and they meet monthly with each instructor. They ask 5 questions over 15 minutes. Questions like, how are you feeling? What are you proud of this week? What challenges are you facing? Where are you stuck? What's one suggestion to improve your role or to the organization? And what else should I know? Those 5 questions tend to open the door to further dialogue and really get down to what's going on for the instructor. And the answer to those questions, do I have the tools to engage my students? And do I have my students' support? Getting those questions answered really helps the instructor move forward. And you're always opening the door for additional dialogue. I'm going to close by saying the coach uses this information to address the pitfalls of the online environment. And I think the coach can really help. They can connect instructors. They can sit in on one class a month and really listen to how that instructor is doing. And they help the instructor to connect to student services, tutoring services, administrative services, and to the CAO for information about the annual review. So I think it would add greatly on the online environment to have a coach, a faculty coach, or you could call it a program director. Hope that helps. Thanks a lot.